Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing our last video in the Etat Libre d'Orange sample set Discovery series. Tremendous. After 5 videos, sampling 4 perfumes in each one on paper, I have narrowed down to 4 the perfumes I would like to try on skin with a view to maybe buying one. So it's been a long and it hasn't been arduous, but it's been a long trip. It hasn't been quite as exciting as the zoologist trek, you know. I went through 20 zoologists as well, and I was more... They held me deeper than the ELDO sample set, I won't lie. I don't know why, because they're not bad fragrances, you know. But the zoologist was a little bit more exciting. Some of the ELDO were... Some of them were boring, or like, maybe not boring, but they were just so remote from what I was looking for now, you know. But I've still managed to pick 4 that I wanted to try on skin. And if these impress me on skin, then maybe I will buy a bottle, you know. If you're serious about buying something, you should always try it on skin before you buy it. And everyone will tell you that. Sales associates, your favourite influencer, like perfume professionals, all these people will say the same things to you. You should try it on the skin, because that's where you end up wearing your perfume. And that's the most important test. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, why didn't you try all of these perfumes on your skin? So I, like many of you, will be very experienced with perfumes. So you can tell from a card whether you think it's worthwhile trying something on skin. That's what I do in these sample series. I go through all of the samples, I try them all on a piece of card, and if I spot something, I trust my own intuition, trust your own judgment. That's the biggest thing I can say. It's your nose. You've got to smell them. You know, you've got to wear them, you've got to pay for them, you've got to smell them. Right? Trust your own nose, and I do. And from all the perfumes, all 20, I've narrowed it down to 4 that I'm interested to try. Okay, so let's turn the light up a little bit. The 4 I have chosen are the Fin Du Monde, Jasmine A Cigarette, Fat Electrician, and Spice Must Flow. One of these is Jasmine A Cigarette. Now you might be thinking, Mitch, you hate Jasmine. And I do. Don't like Jasmine at all, but that really, really intrigued me on paper enough to try it on skin. So I'm going to. But I have waffled for 4 minutes now, and I still haven't smelled a perfume. So let's get started, shall we? Le Fin Du Monde. This is going on the back of my left hand. Is there anything on the back of my left hand? There is not. So, I remember really enjoying this at the time when I smelled it, you know. It's got crazy notes in it, like popcorn and gunpowder. So we'll see what it does on the skin, shall we? Right, you definitely get that popcorn sort of vibe straight away, but the iris is much bigger. I get this lead desert sort of vibe, and I think that's from carrot seed, because this does have carrot seed in it. I remember that as well. It's one of the things that intrigued is the sesame in it. I got the notes: popcorn, gunpowder, carrot seed, iris, ambrette, vetiver, freesia, sandalwood, black pepper, cumin, styrax, and sesame. Open sesame. I'm getting some kind of wood here, though. I like that, but it hasn't wowed us. Like first impression on skin. Obviously, I'm going to be wearing these throughout the day, and I'll probably try them all again soon. You know? On skin again, like I've done with other things. I think one of the last sample set series I did was Eris. And I have actually bought one of them, but I haven't unveiled it yet. I'll be doing an unboxing when it arrives next week. So that will be interesting to see which one of those I picked. And it's taken a while for us to, I don't want to say build up the courage, but like it's taken a while for us to decide that yes, it is actually in fact worth smelling, worth buying. Le Fin Du Monde smells pleasant at the minute, and that gunpowder sort of note, it's very biche. You know Quentin Biche? He's the perfumer. This is very Quentin Biche. It's biche mode. You know? It's it smells very. You can tell his style. It's got this kind of slight metallic juxtaposed against something else. That seems to be his modus operandi. He uses a metallic note that he juxtaposes off against something else. And I've no doubt that he will be big in the coming decade. I think metallic notes seem to be the future. You know, we had pineapple in the early 2010s. We had ambroxan and blue fragrances. And I think Quentin Biche has taken the ball with Ganymede and ran with it. He's taken that metallic blue kind of transience, bionic kind of thing, and made it his own. And I think he could be someone who creates something like the next Sauvage or the next Aventus. I mean, I could be totally wrong. Come back in 10 years' time and could be totally wrong, but this is a lot fresher on me now. Getting a little bit of the popcorn, getting a little bit of like spicy kind of peppery, seedy kind of thing going on. I mean seedy as in like seeds. Seedsy. You know? I actually think I might like this more than Ganymede, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. It's called The End of the World. I quite like that as well. Anywho, let us move on. Let us move on. I'm a little bit nervous about this. How the hell did this happen? Jasmine and Cigarette. Created in 2006 by Antoine Massendieu. I do beg your pardon. This is going on my left forearm. Let's not put too much on, shall we not? Because it is a jasmine fragrance. Takes a hell of a jasmine to impress me. Iquitos. Well, no, sorry, that impress might not be the right word, because I've been impressed by jasmine fragrances before. But not necessarily in a positive way. Do I like this? The notes are jasmine, tobacco, hay, apricot, musk, cumin, cedar, tonka, and amber. Oh, dear Lord. That is much more jasmine on me than it is on skin. than it is on paper. Good Lord. Oof. I'm getting a lot more of the hay. So the initial blast there, the initial blast off my skin was jasmine. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to smell like this all day. It's not a shitty jasmine though. It was on first spray. So I'm not sure if you could hear like the goosebumps. This is not bad. This is not bad at all. I'm not getting that smoky cigarette yet, though. I imagine that is going to come. But the jasmine in this is actually rather nice. It smells alive rather than dead. It doesn't smell like shit. It smells alive. It has a greenness, it has a freshness. I think the hay, there's a big hay presence here, you know. I cannot hate on the hay. Hay is a very interesting note. You can do loads of shit with hay. That is very, very, very pleasant. Probably the biggest surprise of the entire bunch, you know, because it had a tough start. I mean, it's called Jasmine. It's got Jasmine in the fucking name, you know. It's not my type of thing, and yet I quite like this. Tobacco's starting to peep through a bit now. That is lovely. That is very lovely. Very well made. I'll have to see what it does in the dry down and with further testing, which will be off camera. And we will see. Anyhow, next we have the one that before I started, I was most interested in. You know? And this is Fat Electrician. And we will try this on the skin. Back of me right hand. 3 sprays. Semi-modern vetiver. Fat Electrician Semi-Modern Vetiver by Etat Libre d'Orange is an amber woody fragrance for men, apparently. Again, this is made by Antoine Massanger. I love the story. It's probably the best story behind a fragrance, you know, because it's made up and you know it's made up, but it represents something real. And I really like that, you know. I prefer that than the whole, like, arch bullshittery of Creed and 8 and Bob and all of that sort of carry on, you know. This was launched in 2009. Let's have a smell. Whipped cream, Maron glass, vetiver, vanilla, olive leaf, which I'm actually getting a green kind of olivey kind of. I was going to say before I read out the notes, I was going to say there's something a little bit. There's one note in here that is not like the others, and it's the olive leaf, and it's giving it that kind of just a little bit of a twang. Myrrh and a Popanax as well. They're all very sweet, creamy kind of thing going on. But the olive leaf just jars against it, you know. Sweet and syrah, a little bit. nutty. And you get that from Vetiver too. You can get that from Tonka. Vetiver Tonka has that chestnut note too. Vetiver juxtaposed with a nutty kind of vibe. Very nice, very pleasant. I really like this. It's creamy, it's pleasant, it's nice. You could wear this as a signature scent. And you could wear it year-round. Maybe not in the highest of high heat because it might get a little bit thick. A little bit too creamy. It's lovely though. That olive leaf to me on my skin stands out a mile. That little bit of greenness, you know. It's got this deep, dark, slightly bitter green. I mean, the Vetiver could be what's giving it that smoky kind of vibe, but it works well. That aspect of it works well with the Vetiver, but I'm not sure the green bitterness, and it gives contrast, but I'm not sure it goes with the whipped cream sort of thing. There's a lot going on here. Further testing is required because if you hadn't noticed, I am actually quite interested maybe in getting a bottle of this. Maybe he's even trying to get an older bottle, you know. But ELDO seem to take care of their fragrances, so I wouldn't be like gutted to buy it at like a newer bottle, you know. That is very nice though. I do like that. And last, but certainly not least, we have Spice Must Flow. This is one in a darker bottle. So I'm almost hoping that I don't like this one because it will cost a lot of money. I'm looking at some of the prices and that's not cheap. Over 200 quid for an ELDO. I'm not sure about that, mate. I remember when these were like 70 quid. But that's why now is always the best time to buy perfume. This was launched in 2019. Cardamom, yes, I remember the cardamom was big. Turkish rose, ginger and incense. Let's have a smell here. Ooh, rosy. Straight away rose. Turkish rose. I imagine this is unisex. It's got a little bit of myrtle-glantine off the top. But it smells very different on skin than it does on paper. Not sure how I feel about this on skin. Not sure how I feel about this on skin at all. It's got a touch of... Do I want to say portrait of a lady? I don't think it's very unique. Although I'm getting spice. Getting a little bit of cumin, like warm spice, you know? Not like... Not like fresh spice, warm spice. This is totally different to what it was on paper. This is why you should always try stuff on skin. It's spicy. It's much darker than it was on paper. On paper, I got cardamom. A lot of cardamom. I'm not getting cardamom here at all. I'm getting that slightly fizzy ginger sort of thing, which gives the rose an almost portrait of a lady aspect. But I'm getting this warm spice and a bit of incense as well. And I'm not enjoying it. It's different. Don't get us wrong. If you like warm, spicy, and you like rose, you should definitely try this out. I'm not sure about this. Maybe it'll change. These are just first impressions, remember. I do a lot of first impressions on my channel, but it's me trying to figure out what I'm going to buy next because I refused free bottles. So everything I buy has to go through a process now, you know? Unless something is so outrageously outrageous that I'm just going to blind buy it, like I did with the vintage Lanchetti Uomo and the Etro Mahogany. That was for my birthday though, so we'll go back through them, shall we? Fin Du Monde. Fin Du Monde has shown now that the top's dried off a bit. We're about, 15 minutes in? I'm getting an ISO-E something kind of vibe from it. I'm getting that gunpowder metallic sort of thing. Popcorn, yes. Seed, yes. It's nice though. Like if someone was to wear this as their like signature scent, this would be great. You get that little bit of sweetness, a little bit of, I don't want to say oily, you know, like food oil, you know, like popcorn's obviously like a little bit oily because it's popped, isn't it? And it's got butter on it. It's a little bit of freshness as well from the metallicity, the metallic notes. It's a good fragrance, that. It is actually a very good fragrance. I respect it. Jasmine A Cigarette. My bias, my thoughts, my internalization of Jasmine is that it's a feminine note, and it's not a young feminine note either. You know, to me, Jasmine implies a bit of experience, a bit of age, a bit of knowledge, carnal and or just life. It's like a mature woman, like a grown up. One that doesn't throw like hissy fits and stuff like that, you know. Don't get us wrong, men throw a lot of hissy fits as well. Dare say I've thrown some hissy fits before. But do you know what I mean? I'm getting at that, like that, the age, the excuse me whilst I hydrate, the maturity. Jasmine does that, and I keep, every time I smell a jasmine, I come back to that, and it's only ever been a Ketos that's pushed us over that, and I think it's the oak moss, and it's this kind of fiery, smoky, and yet fruity kind, like citric vibe at the top. Fruity is maybe not the right word, but citric is. So I'm not sure I could wear a bottle. I'm not sure I could get through a bottle of that. But it is very nice. And it's very well made as well. Fat Electrician is lovely. Is it too close to Vetiver Tonka to actually buy a bottle? That is the question. If I didn't have Vetiver Tonka, I'd buy it immediately. Because it's awesome. I love the name. I love the smell. It's got this lift. It's got depth. It's got a lot. There's a lot going on. If I could find a vintage, a full sealed vintage, I'd be much more tempted than just going out and buying a new one. But there's a very good chance it's going to go on the list as something that I could wear when I didn't want to wear something incredible, you know? And spice must flow. No, absolutely not. I can write that off right now. It's got this rose, this common rose that is being used by the big flavouring houses. Well, it's Turkish rose, and it's very lovely. It's very pretty. It's very nice. It smells good. But I can smell catalysts in there, synthetics in there that push and boost. And I've smelled them all before. I don't want to smell them. You know, I've got a few fragrances like that. I don't need more. You know? Fat Electrician. Maybe the Fin Du Monde. Are the two I'm going to look at. I will keep trying these. And I will be deciding which one, if any, I'm going to buy. You will see a video if I do, clearly. Anyhow, that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of the ELDO sample series. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you will buy the sample set because it is remarkably priced. 42 quid I paid for it from the site. Fabulous. Brilliant. That is really, really, really fair, and it deserves props because I've just paid 80 quid for another sample set with the same amount of fucking samples in it. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, you bastards. So they want to be better than this, you know? They want to be better than this, but will they be? I don't know. It's a fantastic sample set. And if you're just getting into perfume, or if you want to take, if you've been buying designers and you want to take the next step, you want to like work up, which is the best way to do it, and you want to expand your knowledge and you want to expand your experience, this is a brilliant sample set to get. Absolutely brilliant. Same as the zoologist. Zoologist should come later though, you know, because they're out. Some of those are out there and they'll frighten you. Like they frightened me. Hyrax, which I ended up buying anyway, but you know. I've enjoyed this. I recommend the sample set to anybody. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. A half-hour video almost for us. It has been a pleasure, and you will have to see whether I decide to buy any of these or not in future. Cheers, everyone. Bye.